Welcome to the Golden Ticket. Thank you for coming. We are streaming live on Facebook and recording this, but the only people that can be seen are the whoever is talking. So thank you for coming. We like to get together here on Zoom every now and then and talk about our favorite subject, this network marketing industry and the company that we are involved with. And the reason for this particular kind of call, we will talk about the products that we distribute a little bit later in the call. But this is a kind of like an industry information Zoom, because there's a lot of misunderstandings out there about network marketing, and we like to clear that up because a lot of us sort of tiptoe in. Maybe we love the product, maybe we wanted to join a friend on what she was doing. And it took me a long time. It took me months to realize what the level of opportunity that this really is. And there's a lot of industries out there, and ours is one that people don't know a lot about. And since our country seems to be really into conspiracy theories lately, I like to think there's a little conspiracy around this one because when I went to school, nobody taught me how to make money. I went all the way through 4 years of college, and not one professor was interested in telling us, what the best way to make money was. And so you get out into the world and it's a big mystery. And nobody ever told me that most of the women, the majority of the women in the world that earn over six figures are in this industry. And nobody ever told me that this is the second highest paid profession in our country, second only to being a professional athlete, which was never going to work out for me. So it would have been nice to know what that number two slot was. So I like to think there's a little conspiracy around not really informing people how much of an economic engine this industry can be. And of course, that means it's pulled in some bad apples over the years. There's been some bad network marketing companies, just like there's been bad, everything. I used to be part owner of a restaurant. We had a great restaurant, but some people have some really bad restaurants serving some really toxic food. But it doesn't make us ban all restaurants, and some people make clothing and sneakers in some really sketchy and shady ways, but it doesn't stop us from buying clothes and buying sneakers, does it? So in the network marketing industry, our company and a few others, really stand out and shine as examples of how to take a great economic engine and apply it to some amazing products and give people the power to earn money from home and just talk to each other about whatever the specialty is. And I just can't seem to find anything wrong with that. And this year, there's been a lot of upheaval. I live in the state of Hawaii. We are bankrupt. The state of Hawaii has run out of money and is now laying off teachers illegally, stuff like that, like states breaking their own laws because they're so out of money. There's just nothing they can do. And we have a solution. We have a wonderful teacher. I'm looking right at her face right now. And, we have a solution for people to create an extra source of income. Yes, I've already said it's a really high paying profession, but it can also be the kind of profession where you make a few hundred extra bucks a month. And that is what the vast majority of people use this industry for, is just to help tie the month together when most of Americans are having the problem of not enough, too much month at the end of the money. So like I said, we'll talk about the products a little bit more. First, I'm going to introduce my dear friend and business ally, Julie Mai. She is someone who I met 7.5 years ago, just in a park under a tree on a blanket, where I thought I was going to learn more about how to sell some products that I had recently become really interested in. And Julie was sitting there with a vision as big as the sky and a dream and a little stack of books that had some information about this industry and how powerful it can be. And she didn't teach me anything about how to sell products. She taught me that even though we're on this tiny island in the middle of the ocean, that we could create a global empire, essentially, by helping people feel good, by helping people earn some extra money, and by helping people to optimize their health. And that kind of blew my mind. And I'm very grateful for her. And she has grown a lot over the years, from being a mom of two and an owner of a gold and silver jewelry company to really being able to share this vision worldwide, essentially. So Julie, go ahead and sparkle some of that pixie dust on us.
Thanks, Jam. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I love you, Jennifer. Thanks for that introduction. And it just always takes me back to that time in our lives when we really, truly didn't understand what we had, but I was definitely excited. And Jennifer is extremely educated, and she gave me a run for my money when it came to this industry as well as these products. And she really helped inspire me, to understand what we had our hands on as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the industry. That's where my passion is. And just, I want you to know this call, the reason why you were invited and the reason why you're here is just to learn. It's just to learn some information that we've acquired over the last 7 years, something that's completely not only changed our lives, but the lives of hundreds, if not of thousands of other people for the better. And that's why we get passionate about sharing this information. I was, 7 years ago, I found myself in a hard place. And I'm really passionate right now of sharing my story, because I think so many people are in that same place with what's going on in the world. Like Jennifer said, there's just so much stuff happening with people losing their jobs, getting furloughed, getting laid off, millions of businesses going out of business because of what's happening in our world and our economy. And we truly have a solution for people. It's not for everyone, and that's okay, but it's for a lot of people who want to live a better, more fulfilled life, people that want to serve and help others. This is really such a gift that we've been given, and that is why we love to share our knowledge with the world. And I found myself 7 years ago with a problem. And my problem was I was working extremely hard. My husband was a full-time mason. He worked, 5 days a week, 8-hour days. I was creating this incredible jewelry design company that we started down in the beautiful islands of French Polynesia, where I met my husband, and I was passionate about it. My mom was a jeweler most of her life, so she taught me, and I got really excited about creating this business and going global with this business. Little did I know that it took a lot of work, that I was literally strapped to my studio, to my table, and I had my tools, and I would work 8 to 10-hour days, and I never got to see my family. And so that is where I realized that I wanted this success. I wanted to build something that I could pass on to my kids, something that made me feel good, but I also wasn't willing to not see them and miss their childhood growing that business. And that's where I found myself. The business was growing, the money was coming in, and the time that I had with my kids and the people that I love most was getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And that was where my problem lied, where I was like, I need to figure out something else that I can do to not only be successful in life and give my kids everything they need, but also that I can do and spend time with them. And that's when this landed in my lap. I didn't see it right away. A girlfriend of mine came to me and said, hey, there's this product that's changing my family's life. I want you to take a look at it. And of course, the red flags went up, and I was like, oh gosh, here she is. She's going to try and sell me something. But instead of being closed-minded, like so many of us are, for good reason, there's so much stuff and information coming at us, I decided to respect, her invitation, and I decided to listen. And that night, changed my life forever, because I was open-minded to hear some information that I had no idea was going to change the direction of my life. And I learned about these products, these activators, this nutrigenomical idea of helping us with our health that Jennifer's just going to tell you a little bit about once I stop. And I was, intrigued. I had never heard anything like that. But at the end of the meeting, the gentleman who was presenting said that in this type of business, if you're interested in a business, which I was like, no, I'm not, I'm way too busy for another business. But he said, with something like this, you can do your work one time and get paid over and over again. And that intrigued me because I knew that if I could do something that would continue to grow without me, I could possibly get some of my time back. So I was intrigued. I didn't jump in right away because I was so busy, but as the months went on and I started complaining more and more about my life, I decided to open up this little box of products that I had bought from her, start sharing it with my mom and people in my life and myself. And I started sleeping better, having more energy. My mom's life completely changed in a matter of months. And I was like, what is this? And then I decided to do my research on the business side. I decided to not listen to all the naysayers and everyone who would tell me, oh, that thing doesn't work. And only, the people at the top make all the money, or people who can't get jobs do something like that. Like, I heard it all. And I was just like, what is this crazy network marketing thing? And I decided to do my due diligence. I decided to listen to people that were having amazing success in their lives. People like Warren Buffett, people like Sir Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, very, business-minded people who could give me different information than my best friend or my cousin or my auntie who were struggling in their life and not living the life that I wanted to live. And what I found, you guys, is it's one of the most incredible ways that you can do business, because you have the ability, like Jennifer said, to create an economic engine. You do something one time and it continues to grow without you, especially if you have a product that's consumable, that people take, they feel better, they have more energy, they're sleeping better, they're not as grumpy. This is just the little stuff. There's bigger stuff. But I realized that, wow, I think I could share this, because that's what we do. We're natural born networkers anyway. If we love a movie, we're going to talk about it. If we love a restaurant, we're going to talk about it. That's just what we do. I'm going to give you a little example. One of my best friends who, told me, she's like, I can't sell anything. I'm not a salesperson. Neither am I. I am a creator. I make jewelry. I don't sell it. I have stores for that. And she told me, I'm just not a salesperson. Yesterday we were talking, we did a hike together. And we were talking about a show that she watches called Outlander, and I've never seen it. And she literally sat there for 10 minutes and she described this show that I was like, oh my gosh, I want to watch it. I'm sold. Like, it was crazy, her description of this show. And I said, listen to you. I said, you just sold me so completely 150% on that show. And she was like, yeah, but that's different. I'm like, no, when something affects your life, when something makes you feel good, when something has an impact, that's what we do. We share it with other people. And so when I kind of got the bigger picture of what that, what this could do, I was like, oh my gosh. And I realized that network marketing isn't about selling products. It's about sharing what has impact in our life with other people and building networks of people who want the same thing that you want. We all want the same thing. 99% of us want more time with the people that we love. We want more choices to do what we want to do when we want to do it. We want to have an impact on this planet. We don't want to be strapped to the floor working a job for 40 hours a week for the 40 years of our life that most of us don't even like in the first place. Most people hate, I think it's like 90% of people hate the job they go to every day. And now, how many people that don't even have a job to go to every day? And so that's why we get passionate about this, because if you have a phone and if you have internet and if you can talk to people and just share your heart with people, you can build a business in this industry. And I can promise you that it will completely change your life. So I'm going to have Aaron share a little 3-minute video by one of my mentors, my life mentors. You probably know him, Tony Robbins. And he just talks about why network marketing is the business of the 21st century and why it's so much better than getting involved with traditional business where you would have to, go to the bank and take out a loan for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Jennifer has an incredible story about a restaurant that she owned, that co-owned, that was the best restaurant, in my opinion, on the planet, and still didn't work out because it was just so expensive to keep it running. So Aaron, if you'll play that little video and then we'll wrap this call up.
You've been around a long time. You've seen a lot of different things.
I have.
What are your thoughts about network marketing in general? And what is your thoughts about the decision that people can make to become entrepreneurs using it?
Well, it's interesting, I'm doing this program right now and I got a room, of a couple thousand people from 44 countries. They're all business owners. Some of them are businesses that are approaching $1 billion. Some of them haven't even started yet, right? They're just picking their business. So it's really variety. And one of my goals in that event is to actually get people to not go in business. And the reason it sounds horrible is someone spends $10,000 to come to an event. I told them up front, some of you are not made for this, because to run a business requires a certain natural capacity, a nature, if you would, besides skills that you learn. And it's the ability to handle risk. It's the ability to handle stress. It's the ability to do a lot of different things. And you have to be able to manage finance. So most people, they have some of those skills. And that's why every year, 50% of businesses that start are out of business. You know, you look at over any 5-year period of time, 80% are out of business. And over a 10-year period of time, only 4% make it. Now, make it, Eric, doesn't mean that they're making any money. Right? That just means they're still standing. 96% fail, and after 10 years, you're set, right? No. Look at Lehman Brothers, right? Around for a century. They did combined $1 trillion in revenue over that century, and they're gone. So the world, technology changes, products and services changes. It's so competitive. So to really be successful, it's a really unique situation. What's beautiful about network marketing is you get all the benefits of being an owner, but you don't have to be worrying about supply chain. You don't have to be worried about accounting, especially in the world we're in today. I mean, network marketing used to be a little bit more different, but today with technology, you can know what's happening in real time. The companies have already set up the software, they know what happens. So it's really picking the right company, and there's a lot of great companies in that area. And it's really realizing that you're really a value creator. If you can go out and add value to other people's lives, if you can just introduce people to a product or a service that a company you represent that truly is extraordinary, some products and services can't just be thrown up on Amazon. They need the story to be told. And if you found a product or service of that nature and you got a company that has a generous schedule of being able to reward you, and then you begin to get leverage where it's not just you, where you've multiplied your efforts to other people, then you get all the benefits of being a business owner without all the headaches and without the same level of risk. And so I think network marketing is amazing. Now, network marketing has a mixed reputation, and we all know that, right, in the marketplace. And anybody goes out there, what are you doing? That's why you got to own yourself as a professional. I think that's why I'm supportive of what you do, because you're not just pumping people up, you're giving people real skill sets to be a pro.
Real skill sets to be a pro. So did you guys hear that? He said only 4% of businesses make it in 10 years. 4%. That is absolutely unbelievable. And I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. I've also worked as a waitress and done other things. My mom was always an entrepreneur, so she raised me that way. But I can tell you that, when I was doing the jewelry, and I still do it because I love it, my tax guy at the end of the year, he's like, is this your not-for-profit business because of how much money you pour into it? And I know as business owners, if any of you are business owners on this call, you can relate to that. You pour so much money back into your business just to keep it afloat. I have some friends in this business that have restaurants and other businesses, and they're just like, if we can just break even, we're doing a good job. How sad is that? Like, that's not what we were put here for, is just to break even. Like, think about that. So to be able to be given an opportunity where you can leverage your time with the time of other people who are also doing the same thing as you, and you cannot succeed unless you help someone else succeed. That, to me, my friends, is absolutely the most incredible way that you can do business. And, one thing that I just wanted to share, I'll pass it over to Jennifer to talk a little bit about the products, is, I think we can all look around and we can agree that there has been a complete disruption in the marketplace. Complete, not just with technologies, which I usually talk about as where technology is going and how fast it's changing, with self-driving cars, just to paint a picture of what that's going to do to our world in the next 5 years, but so many other things. I was talking to a beautiful woman the other day, a couple of weeks ago, and she was telling me that she worked in a hospital for the last 20 years. And she worked in the tech, in the lab as a tech or something, and that her and 50 other employees were getting laid off because a computer is going to do their job. 20 years to be laid off because of a computer. So there is such a change. And that doesn't even include this whole new life that now that we're living with COVID, and how many people are wondering and how they're going to survive in the future. And they're tapping into their savings and they're tapping into their retirement. And it's like, help. We have a problem, right? Help, Houston, there is a problem. So for me to be able to say, this may or may not be for you, and that is totally okay, but I have a moral obligation to share this with the world, because I know what it can do for your life. I know what it's done for mine and hundreds, thousands of other people that have had the ripple effect of this landing in their lap. So I'm gonna just say a couple more things at the very end of this call, but I'm gonna pass it back to Jennifer. She's gonna talk just a little bit about the product so you have an idea what we're talking about, and then we'll wrap it up before the half an hour.
Nice. Yes, because there's a lot of businesses out there in our industry, And I honestly cannot imagine being a part of any of them besides this one. Like a lot of people, I stumbled into this as a career because I took a product that blew me out of the water. At that point, I had been in the wellness business as a health food advocate for 12 or 13 years. And I had owned a vegan restaurant with my sister here on Kauai. I wrote 3 vegan cookbooks. I was a chef, and I kind of thought I knew it all about how to take care of yourself with, staying healthy with diet and exercise and all of that. And so I was very reluctant to try a supplement. I just wasn't into supplements. I didn't think we need to take pills to be healthy. And plus the supplement market is just so expansive. It's just like, how do you start to limit which ones you want once you kind of start falling into that arena? And so, it looked to me like a supplement, and I just thought, not interested. But I had a very perseverant friend, and she just sort of kept insisting that she thought it would help with some pain I was having in my body. I had a lot of back pain from years of hauling around lots of heavy food, and also I'd had migraines since I was a child. And even though I considered myself super healthy, I started to question, like, well, why am I giving her such a hard time when I do actually have problems that I need help with? And really just to be supportive of her in her business endeavor, I decided, all right, I'll try the product for a month. I'll tell her it doesn't help you with pain, and I'll move on with my life. But it did help me. I felt a lot better in that first month. And I'm not saying that that's a typical reaction. It doesn't always affect people that quickly, but sometimes it does. And for me, it did. And it just kind of blew my mind as a simple, the first product that we had, 5 herbal ingredients that I already had some of those in my repertoire of why were they not working for me. And this was. And so I dove into a whole new field that I knew nothing about, called nutrigenomics. Literally, big word, just means we're using nutrients to affect genetic expression. It just means that. It just means we're using nutrients to affect genetic expression. It's insane how far forward the forefront of wellness got pushed in the last few decades as a result of the science behind genetic expression, and understanding how much power we actually have to affect our genetic expression. It's something that we spend a lot of time educating people about, not when we're not on this call, because it's just so fascinating. We're essentially tuning ourselves at a genetic level using nutrients. And the results are undeniable on the outside, but deep within the cells, I think is a much more profound story. The detoxification of your cells leads to so much relief in your body, and that relief of that stress, it's called oxidative stress, it has such a broad spectrum of results, because oxidative stress is wearing us down. We get to grow. We have a grace period from 0 to 20 where we're in growth. And from age 20 on, we are aging if we're lucky. And the goal of nutrigenomics as a science is to expand our health span, ideally to make our health span match with our lifespan, so that there is no area, there is no period of your life that you have to be sort of decaying and suffering and falling victim to some of the more gnarly sides of your genetics that we all know are there, but we kind of have a little bit of a hope for the best. Not much I can do about it. And when I really kind of looked around at my life, I don't really like supplements life, I kind of realized we all take a lot of interesting supplements, right? Like, dessert is certainly not required to survive. So therefore it is a supplement. Desserts are a supplement that you do not need to be taking. Wine, I like the wine supplement from time to time, definitely not needed to survive. I think, you know, a lot of us supplement our ingestion in a lot of creative ways that we don't really need to, and that tear us down and that are not good for us. So it actually is a very good idea to counterbalance that with some stuff that is actually good for you. Like tremendously good for you. And on a business side, you know, our product is consumable. I took it for a month and I never wanted to stop taking it. 2 years later, I had the last migraine that I ever have had to suffer from. And that is something, like Julie said, we're natural born networkers. How am I not going to tell people about that? It registered with me that, of course, I'm always going to be talking to people about this because we share our pain with each other and our suffering, our financial pain, our physical pain. And I have a solution for both of those things. So there's no way I'm going to not, you know, let people know. So that's how I sort of stumbled into a business that later I realized is such a golden ticket to be able to start with me and somehow almost magically expand out to the whole world, where I have an international team now, you know, joining the ranks of some of the highest paid women in the world in a profession that, you know, upon graduating from college, I had never even heard of before. So that's why we're here, to just let you know that we kind of have the best products in the industry, and we're here to just help. I didn't have to do any of this alone, and nobody was my boss either. You know, you have your own business and it's yours, and you have a team of people with us that are willing to help you to make it happen. So I'll pass it back over to Julie and we'll wrap it up. Thank you for coming.
Sweet. I love it, Jennifer. And just a quick plug on the product side. We keep it really minimal because this is really an educational call for network marketing, but we also want you to know about the products. But we have an incredible leader, Hawaiiana goddess woman that we all love so much, that talks about our products in depth today at 2:30 Hawaii time. So if you're interested in learning more about the products, be sure to ask the person who invited you for the link to that call, because you'll really get to dive into why these products are so unique and so different. So before I wrap it up, we like to keep these, you know, just 30 minutes. You guys, there's so many reasons why, but a couple just to list them off, why this is going to be more and more of a, you're just going to be hearing more and more about this type of industry because of, you know, the world and all the changes and where we're going. But there's such a low risk. You know, you don't need a ton of money to get started. For the average person to become an entrepreneur, a lot of times it takes thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. Like this is usually $1,000 or less, and you can get started in something like this with the product and all the tools and the team that you need to succeed. The flexibility, I love that you can build this anywhere in the world. You can be traveling and build this. I built this in the nooks and crannies in the beginning because I told you my story. I was busy. I still am busy. I have 4 kids now, and I'm just like a busy mom, but I fit it in the nooks and crannies. So if you're lucky enough to have a job, or let's say you're in college or you have something else going, you don't have to quit all that. You can fit this in and make it work. You work full-time on your job or you're, you know, whatever you're doing, and you work part-time on your fortune. The residual income aspect of this, you guys, I always felt like I was never going to be able to make residual income. I thought you had to be a movie star or a superstar or an actress or a professional athlete. I never thought it was for the average person like myself to make a residual income. And when I realized that we can do this with here, you're given the ability to create an asset for your family, for the future, for your kids and your grandkids, which is incredible. The tax benefits. I just want to touch on this, you guys, because the tax benefits alone should be the reason why you pull out that credit card and say, sign me up. Because once you start your own business, the taxes, they go in your favor, and you can literally, I just learned this from a CPA, that you can save $7,000 a year by having your own business, by having a network marketing business, $7,000 a year. So, just think about that for a second. And the community and the purpose, right? I don't know about you, but I know where I felt, 7 years ago, making jewelry on my own. I was in my own little pod in my studio, and it was a lonely place to be. I know I had my friends and family, but until I started with this, I didn't really feel much of a bigger purpose. And when you can do something that is bigger than yourself, that you're giving back in such a way and helping other people and serving, it fills a piece of your heart and your cup that you've never had filled before. And I absolutely love that. It's fun. You get to work with like-minded people who are positive, who are entrepreneurial, who want to make a difference in the world, who aren't always complaining. I love that side of it. And you guys, the personal development, which is one of my favorites. Personal development basically means, in a nutshell, is you become bigger than your problems. And I know we all have these friends that are just always complaining about their life. Nothing is going right for them. Everything is, bad or whatever. And when you can really learn to become bigger than your problems, that is when your life starts to shift and change. When you grow and become someone that has something to give back to other people. And so, with that, you guys, I just want to say that this isn't for everyone. Change is hard. We're all going through some crazy changes in the world right now. We're all feeling it. We're all impacted by it. This isn't for everyone, and that's okay. But if you feel connected in any way to what we're saying, if you feel drawn into these words of change and want to be a part of something bigger than yourself, maybe you're like, yes, I'm an open-minded person. Yes, I think different than the status quo. Yes, I want to dream about what could possibly happen for my life, because I do have dreams. Unfortunately, I put them on the shelf and they're pretty dusty. But I want to tell you that this gives you an opportunity to pull those dreams down, dust them off, and run like the wind and build something that you can be proud of with people that you really like and that you want to be around. You guys, network marketing isn't perfect. It's not. Nothing's perfect. But I've been a business owner. I've done many things. I've been an employee. It's not perfect, but this is better. And so I'm going to leave it on that. I just want you to really think about what your future looks like. Give yourself a minute after this call and close your eyes and think, what does my life look like in 6 months? What does it look like in a year? What does it look like in 5 years? And if you keep doing the same thing that you're doing, are you going to have any change? Is things going to get different? Are things going to become different? Are things going to become better? And I will tell you the answer is no. You have to change for things to change. You have to become better for things to become better. And that's what this gives us the opportunity is. It gives us the opportunity to not only change our future, but to become better people. And that might sound crazy to you, but that is the truth. And I absolutely love what we do. So please let the person who invited you to this call, let them know on a scale of 1 to 10 where you're at, or just let them know that you want to hear more information, that you are interested. And if you're not, that's okay too. I hope that we were able to teach you something different. I hope we were able to inspire you a little bit. If you are suffering because of the economic craziness, know that our hearts are with you, that we're praying for you. And I guess that's it. Happy holidays, you guys. It's almost Christmas. Next week's Christmas. I'm still thinking that's just like crazy. So happy 12 days of Christmas to you. Sending all our love from the beautiful islands of Kauai. Thank you, Erin. Jennifer, mwah, love you. We do this call every once in a while. So we'll get back to you soon. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.